Good morning. Okay. Oh, excuse me. All right. What are we doing? I'm not doing that. Good. Chicken. Good. Okay. What are we doing? We are going to be talking about the abacus. This is the abacus. Maybe I should do that. That's not either. Maybe I should do that. There we go. So, excuse me. What we're doing is we are working with the abacus. This is an abacus. Okay, and okay, good. So what are we doing? We're just gonna count. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like for preschool things. Preschool people. And so what are we doing? Here's what? 0. That's what 0 looks like. 0. That's what 0 looks like. 0 looks like this. Right? And then we have, oh my goodness. Hey Ethan, good morning. Good evening, Ethan. How are you today? Okay. Do you have any questions? It's just you and me. Oh, okay. People are joining. So we have one. If I look, this is one pig. So 1 on the abacus. That's what we're doing. We're going to be learning how to read the abacus. It's 10 p.m. How's the weather? How's the weather where you are? And then we have 2. When we look at the snakes, there's 2 snakes, and then there's 2 on the abacus. 1, 2. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. And then we have 3, right? 3 chipmunks. So 3. What does 3 look like on the abacus? On the abacus, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Anytime the beads are touching this horizontal bar, this is what's being counted. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 on the abacus. These are all zeros. So what we're doing is we're learning to read the abacus. It's a bit cloudy, but surprised it didn't. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So we have 4 big koalas. Oh, excuse me, 4 big koalas. We have 4 big koalas. So this is what 4 looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's just you and me again. Dijon left. Okay. Hey, oh, are you with your nieces and nephews right now? Or is it not time? Because it's already May. You said you were going to go visit your relatives. We're going to go on to at midnight. Oh, and you're going to stay there for a month? Is that what you're going to do? We'll leave on the. Oh, interesting. That's a fair amount of time. So is it your mother's sibling or is it your father's sibling? Grandma's. Oh, you're going to grandma's. Oh. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's just you and me right now. I only see you and me, right? Do you see anybody else? Excuse me. Yeah, Dijon left. Okay. Do we want to do multiplication or some division? Thank you so much for the hearts, Ethan. Do you want to do some multiplication and division? We can go straight into it since it's just you and me. Or we can do some more two-step multiplication first. Okay. So were you here? Were you here when we got this one? Or is there something new? We can do something new. Do you want to give me? Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? Before division. You know what? I was trying to go through. Here's my little thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build out questions, right? So when we're looking, I got to build out questions. So we can do this one. Let's do this one. Okay. So there's a two-step, not two-step. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. We're going to We're going to utilize this time. Utilize the time. Oh, I need a. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, how many digits do you want to do? I haven't done the bigger numbers. Let's do what? 40, 45 times that by 7. I think 7. Are you thinking about an abacus multiplication for the kids? Yes. Yes. I'm planning to do a multiplication book for the kids. Yes, and so I wanted to do it by different grades too. So I was going to do like a grade 1, and then grade 2, and then grade 3. But I had to know like how to do it, because what I want to do is I wanted to figure out like how to structure the questions. So when I look, right, we have 1, 2, 3. When I do 7 times, and then I have to figure out like what's a good format, because I know I've been doing this, right? 7 times 4 is what, 24? 20, 28, right? So I add my 2, and then I add my 8. And then 7 times, see, I wouldn't want to use 7 times 5. Why? 7 times 5 is equal to 35. Because we have to do this one, right? Now there's 40 people. That's so strange. It took a little bit, didn't it? Okay, let's do this, and then we'll go into we'll go into like adding. We'll go into how to read the abacus. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So, what are we going to do? Remember how we did that, right? Remember. So then, this is the book. This is the book on how to do the formulas. So this one was a 3. When I want to add the 3, I want to add the 3, right? Is there enough beads to add the 3? No, there's not enough beads to add the 3. Then what do? I need to figure out how to use the 5, right? And then can I add the 5? That would be the question. This is can I add the 5? No, I can't add the 5. So when I look, I have to use the 10. To use the 10, we know that it's plus the 10 minus the 3. So I'm going to write that out, where it's going to be plus 3 is equal to plus 10 minus 7, right? So I'm going to plus the 10. 10 is 0 and a 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 and a 0, and then minus the 7, right? Minus the 7. So I'm going to take away the 7, and then I'm going to add the 5. So that was my final answer is what? What is my final answer, Ethan? Oh, the other Ethan. Now there's too many Ethans. So we have, my final answer is 315. But thank you, Ethan, for commenting. Obviously, we jumped right into it. All right. So let's do some counting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to count on the abacus. So the first thing you're going to understand is, what is 0, right? 0 looks like this. That's what 0 looks like. 0 looks like this. So then after 0, this is 1. After 1, right, we have 2. Because we have 2, that's what it is. 2 snakes, 2 beads on the abacus. And then there's 3. There's 3 on the abacus. There's 3 chipmunks. So the first thing we need to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. Because Ethan, I don't even know, I don't know, Claire Hout decided to join in on a conversation in the middle and comment. Apparently, we need to start from the very beginning and understand that if I do 4, this is 4, right? So what are we doing? Well, what we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. Unless Ethan Clairhout knows how to read the abacus, it would be interesting. Because if Ethan Clairhout knows how to read the abacus, then that question wouldn't be around, right? So obviously, So what are we doing? So we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, what's 5? 5 is the 5 is the top bead. 5 will always be the top bead, no matter what. What does that mean? That's the value of 5. When we look, we have 6. How do I know what 6 is? 6 is 5 and then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheep. So 6. So we add 5 and then 1 is 6. And then what's after that? We have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have 7 on the abacus. Oh, 7 on the abacus. That's what 7 looks like. How do I know? Because we have 5, 6, 7. And then we have 8. 8 on the abacus. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have 8. 8 bunnies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So notice that the difference is between here and here is that we have to count, right? I don't know how many, like in my head, I don't know how much this is. However, when I look here, I know that this is 8. How do I know? Because it's 5, 6, 7, 8. I know when I see it, this is 8. And then our final number is 9. We have 9 cows. Can you see 9 cows? Is that really 9 cows or is that more than 9 cows? I'm not sure. Okay, so this is 9. This is 9 on the abacus. When we look, this is all 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. And so we have 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. These are all 9s. When we look, we have 1. We can do 1s. This is all 1s. And then this is all 2s. And then this is all 3s. And then this is all 4s. After 4, this is all 5. And then 5, we have 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9. So then you might be wondering, hey, you might be wondering what happens after 9 is 10. And I gotta find. So what does 10 look like? Well, 10 looks like just like how we write, right? So if I line it up, we have 0, 1. Let's see, 0, 1. Every column is you can't see that. Every column is a place value, right? So this column is the ones. This is the tens. This is the hundreds. This is the thousands. And then this is the 10,000. So when I look, this is, excuse me, this is all 0. When I show 10, I have 1, 0, and 1. And then after 1 is 11. I'm sorry, after 10 is 11. After 11, right? That's 11. 1 and 1. And then after 11, we have 12. 12 looks like this. Exactly how we write it is exactly how we read it. So when we look, we have 1 and a 2. Thank you, Kat. Here's a question for Kat. What number, give me a number and I will show you what it looks like on the abacus. So we're going to continue to count while I wait for the number. So this is 13. How do I know? 1, 3, 14, 1, 4. And then if I want to, I could do 20, 2 and a 0. And then I can do 21, 22, 23, 24. We can count by tens now. So we have 10, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50. Oh, that's a good number. So because it's 6 digits, I only have 7 columns here. But because I have my ones here, I can't go any higher than the number that's given. So what I do is I go for a bigger abacus. And this is a 13 column abacus, which will accommodate the number that we have. So the number is 1006, 583. So hopefully that will translate when we look. I have 3, I'm going to put 3 here. I have 8, I'm going to put 8 here. I have 5, I put 5 here. I have 6, I put 6 here. 2, I put 2 here, and then 1. And then how I read it would go this way. The reason why I would go this way is so then I can read it, right? If you notice, if I said that this is my ones, so then after each grouping is my ones, my thousands, my millions. I started here because it doesn't matter where I can start. So what I'm doing is I have my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000. Does that make sense? So when we look at it, it's exactly what we read. We go 126,583. That's all it is, right? Yeah, yeah. Is it abac? Oh, it's abacus. Yeah, not abacus. I don't know what that word is. It's not abacus. So abacus. This one specifically is a soroban. A soroban is a Japanese. A soroban is a Japanese abacus. Ah. Welcome to the real. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Ellis. I'm so confused. I don't know, Fink. So does that make sense? So when we're looking at it now, what's the difference between the two? Because size matters. Oh, thank you so much for the heart me. Because size matters. It all depends on the. Does it work the same way? It does work the same way. Just it just means it's a bigger. It's just a bigger digit, right? Just as we did here. So let's translate it to here. The problem with this, right? I don't have any more beads. I don't have any more columns to accommodate this. I start here, my ones. So when I look, right, I start here. This is decimals, right? So when we're looking and we're gonna compare it. So I do 3, 1, 2, 3. This is 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this is 9. We have 5. I'm sorry, this is 5. The top bead will always be 5. So after 5, we have 6. Then I add my 6, and then I have 2. So I add 2. But notice I don't have any room for 100,000. So it does matter. Size does matter. So size does matter, right? It all depends on how big your digit is. If your digit is bigger, then maybe you want to use a 13 column abacus. If your digit is smaller, you could still use your 13 column abacus. That's not a problem. I just like to use a colorful one because it's fun for the kids. Usually it's kids that learning abacus, not adults, right? But I've started since I've gone live on TikTok. A lot of the adults are very interested in learning the abacus just for their own knowledge. Smaller but wider. No, it's not it's not smaller. They're standard size. It's just the amount of digits. Every column is a digit. So it all depends on what you want to do. We have, right? We have dots. These are my ones indicator, but I have multiple ones indicator. But if they're not a ones indicator, then they're just the grouping. So if I start here, my ones, right, like a Pokemon, I can choose this one for my ones. So then I do that. So be my ones, my thousands. Oh, that's not gonna work. So just as I have to change my labels, I have a larger label, right? Same concept. So my ones, my thousands, my millions, my billions, and then if you look, I have trillions over here. Oh, good, Brittany. Oh, good. Sorry, I was just in the middle of a conversation. So what's going to happen is you can count it. And then now with that one number, if I started here, right, it'd be 3, 8, 5, 6, 2, and then 1. That's what it would look like. But that's only because I started over here. Usually on this 13 column abacus, I would start right in the middle. So then I would choose, right? So just as the labels, like the more labels you have, the more columns you have. The more columns you have, the bigger the digits. But if you wanted to track the national debt, I would recommend getting a larger abacus, which is a 23 column. So I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. So when we're zeroing it out, that's what zero would be. So that's what, yeah. And so when we were looking at it, right? And so it's usually it's the kids that I'm trying to. Well, I have classes, and the classes are usually for kids. There are adults that are interested in it, but it's quick to understand. It's quick to pick up. Um, does it multiply? Yes, you can do multiplication, and division on the abacus, but it does take a process. The first thing we need to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. Then after that, we'll learn how to move the abacus. And then after that, we'll add and subtract. And then after adding and subtracting, then we go into understanding how to do multiplication and division. Um, but yeah, so yes, clearing back in that. Okay, so that's what this is. This is zero. So when we look at it, we're going to count it again. And remember, I choose this one. So what I'm going to do is, hey, balls on budget, welcome back. So I'm going to start here. When I start here, I go one, two, three, four, and then five. The top beat will always be five, and then we have six, seven, eight, nine. So then what do we do? Well, after nine is we have 10. We've done 10 before. 10 looks like this. Just to see it, just to see what it looks like, right? So when I do a comparison, this is what 10 looks like. 0 and 1. And then we have 11, and then we have 12. Well, 12 looks like this. 1 and a 2. Thank you, Reeve, so much for the heart me. So there'll be questions like, well, why are you making it more complicated? It's like it's not more complicated. You know why? Because if I give you a bunch of blocks, can you tell me how many blocks this is? Now I'm just being salty. I'm just like looking at it, and I was just thinking about comments that I get. It's like, no, you know what? You need to open your mind to different ways of thinking, right? And so abacus is a different way of thinking. So please. So what we're trying to do is I'm trying to show a different way of looking at math. And in abacus, there's like patterns. You could see patterns in abacus, which is really kind of cool. So the first thing we're going to do is understand, well, let's move the beads. Well, to move the beads in abacus world, what we do is we focus on the added. What does that mean? Well, what's going to happen is, oh, you know what? We're going to do some more. Let's do some more bead recognition. It helps. Corner. I don't know what that meant. Just, do you know? Okay, so so let's see about some bead recognition. We have this number. What we're going to do is we're going to do a maze. Oh, thank you so much for the heart me. Balls on budget. So here is the starting point, right? So we're going to start here. What number? We're only doing 2 digits. So what number do we think this is? If I look, right, I have that number. What number do you think that is? And what we're doing is we're doing some bead recognition, right? This is actually available. If you're interested, it is available here. I have it in the shop. Yeah. So in the comments, please let me know what number you think this is. I don't know who else is here. Haha. Okay. What number do we think this is? This number is 7. Thank you. Thank you. So if it's just you and me, balls on budget, we can go forward, but it doesn't look like anybody else is here. So we have 7, and then that would be 7. So we have this number. We have 7. Oh, 5, 6, 7. And then we have 2. Hey, Ethan. Hey, Ethan. That was really strange. Another Ethan commented, right? Yeah, like in total, thank you so much. In like total conversation, they decided like, makes me mad when they just kind of like walk into a conversation. I don't know, it's so funny. They were talking about how people are now more rude to service providers. Okay, so we have this number and then this number. Okay, if it's just the three of us, then maybe we can do some more, I don't know, you want to do multiplication? Or if anybody else is here, we can continue on. So 87, 87. If anybody else is here, comment differently. If not, we're going to go straight into multiplication because that's where I was at. I was having a conversation with Ethan, about multiplication. Oh, hey, Bryce, good. Okay, good. So what number do we think this is? Oh, this one's easy, right? Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 40. Why is this 40? Why 87? Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 87. So it's 87 because I have 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me see if I can color it in, right? So let me color it in. We have 5, right? We have 5. This is 5. This is 6, right? We're going to add 6. And then this is 7, right? We add 7. And then this is 8. This is 8. And then when I look, this is 7. 5, right? This is 5. This is 6. There'll be 6. And then this is 7. So there's 7. That's why it's 87, Bryce. I'm definitely interested in multiplication. Oh, morning math. Yes, Eve, morning math. Here comes active people. I love it. Yeah, that's the problem, right? If I don't get active people, then I just talk to whoever's in the comments. Does that make sense, Bryce? And so then I'll just continue on and barreling through everything. So we said this one number, right? Good morning. Good morning. Unclerical. Yeah, makes sense? Okay, good. So when we look at it, we're looking at place values too. So the place values is ones and tens. I don't know if you can see that. Right? So we have to look at our place values. We have our ones and our tens. So if this number is exactly what this looks like in the picture, what number do we know? What number do we think this is? 40. Exactly. 40, right? 40. Why is it 40? Because it's a 4, this is the tens, and this is 0. So, unclerical, this is what 4 looks like. 4 is over here where the ones place is. Every column is a place value. So when we look, we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, our 10,000. When we have it, like you have your number is 944. So your number in your username is 944. So 944. 944. All right. And then we have this. What number do we think? This is an easy one. That and that. What number is that? Again, if I look, they match up to, thank you, Eve. Not 0. Yes, it is 55. It is 55 because we have our top beads touching the horizontal bar. So it could also be positioning as well. Let me see if I can move my book out of my face. All right. And so what do we have? So this number, right? We have this, and then we have this. 21, right? Easy, right? So when you get the hang of it, yes, thank you, Bryce. It is 21. Thank you, Eve. So we go 21. So we're going here, and then now we're over here. So after this, we're going to learn how to move the beads. We have this, and then we have that. Yes, 60. No, not 8. Not 8. How do I know that 8? Because this 5 is up here. Yes, thank you, Bryce. So it's 60, 5, 6, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Eve. Yesy, welcome. And then we have this number. Thank you. Balls on budget. So we have this number, 1, and then we have this number, 12. Easy, right? 12 goes to here. I'm sleeping. Yeah. Still early. Still early. What number do we know this is? So we have that one. We have this and that. Yep. It is 66. Oh my God, I need this for the kids. Oh, that'd be great. I sell these. I educate parents. I educate parents so you can get excited about how easy it is to add and subtract. We're doing math right now. So what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus. 66. Oh yeah, thank you, Bryce. So what's this one? This one's easy, right? Yesy, do you have any questions? 88, almost, Bryce, but that's a lot, right? But we're only doing two digits, but I understand. You're right, it is 88. 88. We have 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I know. Got excited. Too many eights. All right. Oh, sorry. Can't see that. Okay. We're almost done. Almost done. Yesy, do you have any questions? Do you know how to read the abacus? So when we look, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then if we look over here, that looks like 1 and 2. So what is our final number? What's our final number? Hey, Mr. Clean. Hello, Mr. Clean. Hello. I see you. How are you today? You're up early. I completely understand that. I completely understand. Oh, really? That's fantastic. Bryce, thank you. Excuse me. Okay. Yes, it is 92. It is 92. So it takes us up to our final question, our final answer. So what number do we think this is? And what we're doing is just we're learning how to read the abacus. After we learn how to read the abacus, which is the last one, the answer is 92. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Great. The answer is 42. To the answer to the universe. Right? Right? That's what I'm saying. So when we look at the abacus, this is what? This is exactly what we're reading, right? So that was when we had that one question. Were you there for that? Okay. So this book is available in the shop. It is also available if you're on YouTube. It is also available here. Hi, my name is Lynette. I am an abacus teacher for 20 plus years now, still teaching abacus. I love it. I think it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and I think all kids should learn it. It's better than having these dumb blocks. All right. All right. But that's my own little rant. Okay, so that's what this is. So what are we going to do now? What we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to move the abacus. What does that mean? Well, if you notice, just because your hands are big and burly, we can, but you need to know how to add and subtract and move the beads first. So how old are your kids, Yessie? Um, and if I do multiplication, you can't be scared with my formulas. So, oh, sorry. The first thing I want to do is understand that when we move the beads, we want to be happy and gentle. So when we're happy and we're gentle, we want to be able to move the beads, right? We want to use the beads to the edge of the bead, and then we want to move them up. So, oh, okay, okay, this will work. Um, so when I look, you want to make sure that if I have this number, all of these numbers, right? Make sure you don't flick too hard, because if you flick too hard, then your answer becomes wrong, right? So you have to make sure you understand to not flick too hard. Okay, so that was one thing, and then the other thing is you can, that's it, actually, just flicking too hard. Oh, and the beads are very easy to move. Because the beads are very easy to move, you want to use your left hand to stabilize it, and then you use your right hand to do the calculations, because apparently the calculations happen from your left hemisphere. And even though if you're left-handed, right, you can still hold the abacus with your hand. You can still hold the abacus with your hand, and then you can write. but you still do calculations with your left. So the first thing we're going to do is, I always remember that this is the way. Yes, exactly. This is the way. Okay, so before I go, okay, we can do some more multiplication. I think I want to do this one, but you cannot be scared. Don't be scared. Yessie, do you promise not to be scared? Because we're going to go into multiplication. We'll go into multiplication. Let's see how quickly we can do this. So the first thing we're going to do So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand we have formulas that we need to understand. So what does that mean? We need to know that we need to learn how to make a 5 and we need to learn how to make a 10. So these are formulas that happens in the addition. So remember when we do multiplication, what does that mean? Multiplication just means fast addition. So the first thing we do what we're doing is we understand that there's addition, right? But then you want to go straight into multiplication, you need to know your multiplication facts. Multiplication, right? The first thing we need to do is understand there's multiplication facts. So the first thing so what we did is we're jumping through not understanding how to add. And we're going to go straight into multiplication. Oh, thank you, Balls on Budget. So let's do a quick review for Game Boy. So when we look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and just as Balls on Budget mentioned, we have 5. The top beat is 5, and then 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 looks like that. Every column is a place value. Every column is a place value. My ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my 10,000. So when I do multiplication, we don't memorize anything higher than 9. So the first thing let's do is 12 times 9. Now when we look, we have 12 times 9. We need to count our digits. 1, 2, 3. When we count our digits, we understand that we're going to put our answer here somewhere. This is the hundreds column. Because this is the hundreds column, we can do that's where our answer is going to sit. So the next thing we're going to do is what we call distributive property. This is an algebraic term that we do in abacus. So when we look, we have 9 times 1. 9 times 1 is 9, right? 9 times 1 is equal to 9. Yeah, you can't be mad to do math. Right? So 9. So because 9 times 1 is 9, 9 is a single digit. I have to go back one column, I add my 9. Oh, all right. What's next? Next we do 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. So because 2 times 9 is 18, what are we going to do? We're going to add the 1, we'll add the 8, right? Just as we had the 10, we're going to add the 1, we're going to add the 8. The problem is there's no more room to add the 1. What do we do? What are we going to do? Well, we know we have these formulas to do. The first formula is to understand how to make a 5. Can we use this 5? This is the 5 that we want to use. Can we use it? No. It's being used, so I can't do it. So what does that mean? I have to go to the next one. I want to add this. I know how to make a 1. I know how to add a 1 by using a 10. What? What does that mean? Well, just as we do how to make a 10, right? When we make a 10, we need to. So here is my formula. We teach this concept to kids, right? This concept is how to make a 10. Because I know how to make a 10, I'm using 1. Why am I using 1? I'm using 1 because I need to add 1 and 8. 1, 8. So when I look, I'm going to isolate this variable, which is also another algebraic term, right? So we do 1 is equal to 10. Now this is too much. We need to balance it out, and we do minus the 9. So now we have our formula. This is now instructions how to use the abacus. So what we do is we plus the 10. Remember when we added to 10, it's 1, 0. We add the 1, we add the 0, right? 1, 0. So now when we do this, this is now column agnostic because we need to add the 1 here, right? The 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 9. 1, 0. I add the 1, take away the 9, and then I add the 8. So my final answer is 108. That's how you do multiplication on the abacus. We can do it again, but the problem is you don't have the foundation of the formulas. That's the one issue. So we can do more multiplication. We can do this would be easy, right? We can do this one. 24 times that by 8, 9, 10, 6. We'll do that, right? Same thing. We're going to count our digits. 1, 2, 3. We count our digits. 1, 2, 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 times 4. Why? Because 6 times 4 is part of our multiplication table, right? 6 times 2 is part of our multiplication table. 20, in new math, they do 20 times 6. The reason why they do this is because it's on paper. And if you notice, it says 120, right? That's what we're doing, 120. But in our abacus, I just need to know 6 times 2 is equal to 12. So what happens? 6 times 2 is equal to 12. I add 1, I add 2. Oh, look, the abacus already keeps my number for me. So I have 120. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to write it out like this. I just need to look at my abacus. And so then I have 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is equal to 24. So I add my 2 and then I add my 4, right? So let me do that again. Can I add 2? Yes, I can add 2 right here. So can I add 4? So we can add 4 right here. So my final answer is 144. Okay? So that's multiplication. How are we doing? But see, that's the thing, right? This is what we call simple multiplication. But here, because we need to do formulas, we need to go back and understand how do we add and subtract. When we understand how to add and subtract, Mr. Clean, do you remember how to add and subtract? Do we need to do a review? We can do a review. Let's do a review. Let's take it a few steps back. Why? Because we need to know the fundamentals. To understand the fundamentals, then doing multiplication is the natural progress, right? So what's going to happen is the question is when I add the 5, what does that mean? Well, you had a little bit of it, right? What we did is we added the 5. Where's this one? So what's going to happen there? The one thing is to understand in abacus world we focus in on the add-ins. Welcome. So the first thing we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is do the adding and subtracting. We're going to move the beads, right? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to move the beads. Now, what does that mean? Well, in abacus world, we focus in on the add-ins, okay? So when we focus on the add-ins, we're not focusing on the result. I don't know why we teach the kids how to focus on the result. We don't need to learn how to make an 8. We need to learn how to add a 2, if that makes sense. So my question is I have 6, and the question is can I add 2? Yes, I can. I'm going to add the 2. So my final answer is 8. So what I'm showing here is how to move the abacus, right? You could do dots. You could do dots, but it's a little bit overwhelming. There can be a lot of dots, right? So what I can do here, right? I have my 5, I add 5, and then when I add 3, all I got to do is add 3. 1, 2, 3, and I add my 3. Notice I'm just moving the beads up to the horizontal bar and moving down to the horizontal bar. When I add it to the horizontal bar, I'm adding. When I move it away from the horizontal bar, I subtract. Okay, good. We're going to do a little review, Mr. Clean. So again, it's the same thing with the 4. When I want to add the 4, I go to the horizontal bar. So if my question is 5 and I want to add 4, my final answer is 9. My mind blown. Why didn't we learn this during my age? Yeah, I didn't learn abacus until after, before my kids. And so I've been doing abacus for about 20 years, but I learned it when I was old. And so when I look, right, I want to take away the 2. If I have 3, right, and I take away the 2, I want to minus the 2. That's what I'm doing. So my final answer is 1. So what I'm showing you is how to move the beads, right? And when we understand how to move the beads, then we can start going into more adding and subtracting. So here is 6. When I want to add the 6, I have 1, and then I want to add the 6. When I add the 6, it's 1 on bead on top, 1 bead on the bottom, and we bring it together. To minus the 6 is take it apart. So that's what I was doing with multiplication, and we could do division as well. But the first thing we need to do is understand adding and subtracting, right? So this is very simple. And then if you notice, it's a number pattern. So that's the one thing. They always talk about number patterns, but they never really show it. The abacus actually shows it really well. And I'll keep going. So when we do 8, we add the 8. When we add the 8, we have 1, and then we're adding 8. I know it's 5, 6, 7, 8, and I bring it together like that. If I want to take away the 8, I move it away from the horizontal bar. So that's 8. And then we have 9. Oh, this is take away 5. So what's going to happen is I have 7. That's 7. 5, 6, 7. Add the 1, and then minus the 5. Minus the 5 just removes the horizontal bar. That's it. So then the question could be, so that's, basically about moving the beads, right? We know how to move the beads. So now the next question is excuse me. The next question is, what happens when there's not enough beads, right? There's not enough. The one question I have, right, is 3. If I want to add 3, I need to add 4. What? Well, 3 plus 4. We know that. Excuse me. We know that. Yes, we do, because we've memorized it. However, in the abacus world, what we do is we focus in on the add-in. This is what we're doing, is we're focusing on the add-in. How do you add the 3, right? Was it 3 or was it 4? All right, we'll just do 3. So my question is, I want to add the 4. No, I have my 4. This is enough, right? But then I want to add the 3. Because I add the 3, there's not enough beads, right? So in mainstream maths, you can add 3. You can do this, right? One, but now I have to count it. I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 4 and 3. You could do that. In abacus world, um, we have this concept. This concept This concept is what we teach the kids. Why are we teaching the kids? Why are we teaching the kids how to make a 5? I don't know why, but I know in abacus world we make this, right? Magical wonderfulness. I wish I knew this when I was young. Yeah, I wish I knew this. I wish I live vicariously through my boys, and all my boys have understand abacus, and they've had no problems with the Common Core. But again, we're going back to here. Why are we teaching kids how to add a 5? We're teaching the kids how to add the 5 for what? But in abacus world, we actually take this concept, right? So I'll show you. We have a set of formulas, right? Abacus formula. What we do is we utilize the 5 and we utilize the 10. What does that mean? Well, what's going to happen is we have this concept, how to make a 4, how to make a 3. We're doing 3s. Sorry, we're adding a 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a 3. When we add the 3, to make a 5, it's 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So we're going to isolate the variable, and we're going to make it 3 is equal to, and then what we're going to do is we're going to substitute 5 minus 2. When we substitute 5 minus 2, I'm going to have the 5, and I take away the 2. And what is my final answer? Anybody know my final answer? Now, is that complicated? It's not complicated. It's not as complicated as this. I mean, this is really easy, but what would that mean? You have to count each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So my final answer is 7. Now, let's do it another way. If I have 4 on the abacus, right? I'm going to have 4 pennies. Each penny is worth 1 cent, right? And there's 3. Well, I only have a nickel. How do I exchange? I have enough money, but it's only worth in a nickel. I need to exchange this. So I'm going to give you my 5, right? But I give you too much. You have to exchange it for 2. So I'm going to take away 2 beads. So my final answer is 7. Does that make sense? We can do it again. It's very versatile. So we have 3. Here is our another one, right? If we have 4 on the abacus, we don't have enough beads to add the 3. So what do? We go to the cats in the tree. The cats in the tree have 5 cats. You grab 3 cats. I grab 3 cats, right? I go to the cats in the tree. I grab 3 cats. 2 cats run away. 2 cats run away. So my final answer is 7. We can do it again. So we have 3. So this is where it becomes very versatile, right? I don't memorize doubles plus 1 or doubles minus 1 because that's very generic. What I'm understanding is I'm understanding how to make a 3, to make a 3 with my restrictions, right? So if I have 3 and I want to add another 3, again, I'm not memorizing doubles. What I'm doing is I'm utilizing what I have. I have 3 pennies on my abacus right now. I have 3 pennies. 1, 2, 3. There's not enough beads to add another 3. What do? I have enough. I have this nickel. I have this 5 cents. Because I have this 5 cents, what am I going to do? I'm going to give you my 5 cents. When I give you my 5 cents, notice I've given you too much. So what happens is I need to exchange it for 2. So if I go to 5 cents and I take away the 2, and my final answer is 6. We can do it again with the cats in the tree. So my cats in the tree, right? I have 3 on the abacus. There's not enough to add the 3. There's not enough to add the 3. So what do? When I add the 3, right, I go to the cats in the tree. I go to the cats in the tree, I grab 3 cats. When I grab 3 cats, 2 cats run away. 2 cats run away. So my final answer is 6. Does that make sense? But this becomes very versatile, right? Because now we can do this one. This one is 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, or 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. What? What does that mean? Well, when we have our question, 4 plus 4, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Hey, Poncho! So when we look, we have 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 cents on the abacus, right? We have 4 cents. I want to add another 4. When I add another 4, I have this nickel. To make this nickel, right, what are we doing? I'm going to give you my nickel. And that's too much, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away. I'm going to exchange it. So my final answer is 8. How are we doing? Are we all right? Does this make sense? So obviously, we've been adding. We can do the same thing with subtraction. We can do the same thing with subtraction. What does that mean? Well, when we have our question, what is it? What's our question? Our question is 8. So we have 8, right? When we have 8, we have 8 on the abacus. And then we have 4 minus the 4. When we want to take away the 4, we know how to modify. Again, we go back to our abacus formula. We go back to our abacus formula. And in the abacus formula, if I want to minus the 4, right, what do? The equation is this. Minus 4 is equal to minus the 5, right? And then what do? We have to isolate this variable. To isolate the variable, it's minus the 1 is equal to minus the 5. Again, this is not balanced. We need to plus the 4. Nope, I'm doing backwards. Why am I doing backwards? Because I need to plus minus the 4. So when I minus the 4, I did the wrong one. But it's all the same. It's all the same. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5. This is not balanced, so we're going to plus the 1. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to 8 and then plus the minus the 4. Minus the 4 is what? Minus the 5 plus the 1. So my final answer is 4. Yeah, Kylie, Kaylee, yeah. In the way we learned math was a lot of memorizing, but this is memorizing with intention. Right? Because this is the concept. The concept is to add the 5 or take away the 1. When you know how to add, you will know how to subtract. You know how to add, you know how to subtract. So now it's not separate things, right? It's not separate concepts. It's not separate strategies. What we're doing is we're solidifying and compounding our information. So we could do it again with the -3. Oh, let's do 4 again, right? So here's my question. This one is that. So now we're doing minus. I have 16 on my abacus. When I have 16 on my abacus, 1 and 6, I want to take away the 4. Now to take away the 4, what am I going to do? Take away the 4, I don't have enough beads to take away the 4. So what I have to do is I have to minus the 5 plus the 1. Again, this is formulas that the kids have to memorize, right? The kids have to memorize this in order to understand how to move the beads. So when we do it, we have minus the 5 plus the 1. My final answer is 12. And it doesn't, and we do it again here. We have 15. 15 minus 4. Minus the 4 is what? Minus the 5 plus the 1. Minus the 5 plus the 1. My final answer is 11. So yes, it is about memorizing, but it's memorizing with understanding, right? We're moving the beads. We're understanding how everything is being moved. When we look, here's 7. When we have 7, right, I want to take away the 3. Again, we know this concept. -3 minus 2 is equal to minus the 5. We modify it and we make it to this. We do some. So we modified our equation, right? We minus the 5 and we add the 2. My final answer is 4. These are very simple questions. I understand they're very simple, but they're very, but then it gets to be scalable. It's scalable. So let's take this number over here, right? It's a very big number. It's a very big number. But if we look, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. And then what are we going to do? We're going to add this. You could make friendly numbers. Yes, you can make friendly numbers, or you could do it on the abacus. So here's a question. Can I add 2? Yes or no? Can I add 2? I'm going to add the 2, right? Now I'm in this column here. Can I add the 4? Can I add the 4? No, I can't add the 4. What do we do? Do you remember, Eve, what we do if we cannot add the 4? We know how to do this, right? No, right. So if we can't add it, what do we do? We know, yes, thank you, Eve. We know that we're going to add the 5 minus the 1. We're going to add the 5 minus the 1. Add the 5 minus the 1. And then can we add the 3? Yes, we can add the 3. 1, 2, 3. Can we add the 1? Yes. Can we add the other one? Yes. Thank you, Rachel. Right? So what is my final answer? My final answer is 37,889. So what did I just do? I just took this basic concept, right? Basic math, and it's now scalable. But that's what it is. I give you the building blocks of abacus. The abacus method gives you the building blocks, and then it is up to you to figure out how to strategically, critically think your way adding and subtracting. So once you understand the basics, right? The basics of moving the numbers, moving the beads, then you can go into higher math, higher adding and subtracting, which just means more digits. So what do we just do? We're focusing on understanding the 5, right? And the next thing we need to do is understand the 10. How are we doing? Are we all right? Thank you, Rachel. I see you. I see Rachel. So how are we doing on the 10s? Right? Are we ready for the 10s, or do we want to continue on the 5s? So just so you know, this is the curriculum. The curriculum is understand how to make a 5, how to minus the 5, and then the next one is how to add the 10. How are we doing? Are we all right? Do you want to continue on? Yes, tens. Okay, good. I love the enthusiasm. All right. So the first thing we do. Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's good. That's a good question. Why not make one full book that teaches everything? Because it comes to be too big. I have a preschool book, and this is 200 pages. Um, I want to be able to make sure. I want to make sure every question here is very specific to the to the concept, right? So usually, unless it's for you, I'm in the process of making an adult introduction, which is going to be different than the kids book. This is a kids book, right? So we don't want to rush them understanding how to make a five. And I know that in mainstream math, they do a lot of jumbling and the kids get confused. So I didn't want any confusion. But that's a very good question, Matthew. Thank you for the comment. So what I want to do is I want to make sure you understand, the children understand how to make a four, right? What do we do when we add the four, when we add the three, when we add the two, and when we add the one? Does that make sense? So then when then they understand how to make the one, I try to make it fun. So I add activities to strengthen their information, to strengthen their knowledge, right? And this is all very specific to how to make a five. This is the hidden word, and these are just activities, right? And then this is the word problems of how to make a five, and then this is a maze. You follow the maze just as we did in the earlier, and then there's answers. So that's the first book. This is only how to plus the five. The second book is how to minus the five. And again, the concepts are there, right? How to make a four, how to minus the three, and so forth. But then it comes with activities to strengthen the idea of how to make a four. Because I don't want to rush the kids into understanding. Because once they understand this, then they will go a lot faster than any of us would, if that makes sense, Matthew. And then again, these are just more activities, right? It can get really big. And then we're going to do the tens. We're going to do the tens. But notice with the 10, there's a lot more. For everything encompassing that I'm talking about, it's in this book right here, Abacus Formulae. So with the kids, I wanted to have more practice, right? The kids have tons of practice, but it's not really what? It's not really, sorry. If you wanted to, Matthew, you could just have this one and it's everything encompassing. It has like cumulative property, and then it has the making of the 10 and making of the 5. And then here, every page is a specific, like how to utilize the 5. And then we go through. So we have adding the 5, and then after adding the 5, we have subtracting the 4, right, of the 5. 3, 2, and 1. And then after that, we have how to make a 10, right? With a 9, how to make an 8, how to make a 7, and then so forth. All of this. And then there's the subtraction part. So this is essentially the one book you're talking about, right? But it would be too big for all the activities that I have. And then this is the framework. Here's the framework where if you add and then you can subtract. Yes, Mr. Clean. I figured you are still the same one. All right. So the question was what? The question was 111. You use extremely large font that inflates the page count. I see you want to make book for kids. This is not extremely large. This is not extremely large. Anyways, it's thorough. Kids barely, yes, thank you, Pancho. The kids barely get a hold of the basic concepts. Adults are relearning what they've used in a lifetime. Don't listen to them. Your books are nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pocoyo. Okay, so the question was 111 plus 9. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, it is hard not to listen to the naysayers. Oh, you know what? You know what, Matthew? You need to. I can play it again. Okay, so what we're going to do? We're going to do 9 plus 9. What does that mean? So when we look, right? Okay. For Matthew, for Matthew, I could condense it all, right? But it gets overwhelming. This is really daunting for a child. I'm not sure if you have children, but it's very daunting to do math. Okay. Oh, sorry. We're going back to 9. So what we're going to do here is adding the 9. When we add the 9, it's immature. You're immature. That's you like it. If you don't, it's funny. You're a nicer. If you're discussing the book like an adult, I'm going to be making an adult book. I'm very appreciate that you're interested in an adult book, and it will be coming soon, but not right now. My focus was to teach the kids. This is a whole new thing for me. Just so you know, right? We all got to start from somewhere. I was thinking I was going to be teaching kids, not adults. All right. We have this question. Thank you so much for the question. We have question 111. The question is plus the 99. When we look, we don't have enough beads to add 99. So what's going to happen is we have this concept. This concept is, oh, I got more, Matthew. I'm just saying about the book. No, I understand, but the book is not for. This book wasn't meant for adults. This book was meant for kids. Okay, so what to this? This is what we're doing. We want to add the 10, right? How do we know how to add the 10? We want to add the 10 is plus the 9 is equal to plus 9 and 1 is equal to 10, right? When we want to do this, we want to do 1 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. This is what we're doing. We needed to isolate the variable, and then we're going to substitute this information to here. That's what we're going to do. So what's going to happen? Okay, we're going to start from this 9. There's a lot of same digits. So I'm hoping that this is not confusing people. So what I want to do is I want to add the 9. I'm going to add 99. I'm adding 9 and 9, right? 9 here. I want to add the 9. But I notice I cannot add the 9. To add the 9 is plus the 10 minus the 1. I need to plus the 10 minus 1. I'm going to write it out. So I have 9 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 1. When I add the 10, right, what does that mean? I'm going to the 10. Plus the 10 is over here. Plus the 10 minus the 1. Plus the 10 minus the 1. So what I'm going to do, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to plus the 10 minus the 1. I'm going to plus the 10 minus the 1. And then what am I going to do? I go here and I have to do it again. So my question is what? I need to plus the 10 minus the 1. Plus the 10 minus the 1. I'm going to plus the 10 minus the 1. So my final answer is 100, no, 210. Yeah, I need to focus. There's a lot of comments. I'm not focusing on the comments. Does that make sense? So what did we just do? What we're doing is we're understanding how to make a 10, right? So this is another basic concept. What did we do in regular math, right? In regular math, we do it this way. We do 9, right? Mainstream math, we do 9. We do 1. We know that 1 plus 9 is equal to 10. We know this somehow, right? We've memorized this. So we do a 0 here, and then we carry the 1, and then we do 1, 2, 9, 9, 10, 11. So we do here. We have to carry the 1. So then we have 210. So this is what we do on this side. Hey, Splendor, welcome. I didn't realize. Okay, so when we do mainstream math, we do it this way, but in abacus we do it this way. I don't know. It's up to you how you want to look. However, I've been doing it this way for so long, I forget how to do it in mainstream math. Just so you know. So I have to reteach myself how everybody does it in mainstream math, and I forget. Okay, so that is how we do the 9. Now, if you notice, it's still the one time, right? We only need to add the 1 plus the 10 minus the 1. So thank you so much for the comment. Somebody. Okay, yes, Jafaro, Jafar. Thank you, Jafar, for the question. So continuing on, right? Let's continue on. We have 4. When we have 4, right? We have 4. We want to add the 8. How do we add the 8? We know how to add the 8. Remember, adding the 8, it is plus the 10. I'm sorry, 2 plus 8 is equal to 10. We know this. So what are we going to do? We're going to modify. When we modify, we need to add the 8. To add the 8, we have to do some. So what does that mean? We're going to isolate the variable. When we isolate the variable, we're going to do 8. 8 is equal to 10. 10 is too much, right? 10 is too much. 10 minus 2. Now it's balanced. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute the information. That means I'm going to add the 10. Remember in the beginning when I have 9 and then the 10 is a 0 and a 1? That's what 10 means. So when I did 9, and I want to add the 8, it's plus the 10, 1, 0, and then take away the 2. Plus the 10 minus the 2. So my final answer is 17. That's what I'm doing here, 17. So we can do it again with the asteroid belt, right? What does that mean? Well, here's my asteroid belt. Here's my asteroids. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 9, and I want to add the 10, add the 8. There's not enough beads to add the 8. So what do? I can go to my asteroid belt, which is over here. I'll go to my asteroid belt, and I take away the 2. So what does that mean? I have the 8, but I have to remove the 2. So I'm going to take away the 2. My final answer is 17. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think Matthew is very interested in questions like this. This is a very common question. This is very common. You can buy this one. This is an abacus one too, and it has all the concepts. You could do it too. It's not a problem. I know Ethan's doing this one. I don't know. It gets a little mind numbing after a while. This is what, 60 questions. Yeah, 30, 60. There's 60 questions on this one page. And it's not a very big book. It's like less than a page. It took me a while to get it, but you're taught me through like 5 lives now. Yeah, I'm telling you, but don't forget though, this is a different way of thinking, right? And so that's the other thing. I had the other one. So if we do 4 and I have 8. So I'm going to give you 10 cents. When I give you 10 cents, right, that's too much, right? I have 8. Giving you 10 cents is too much. I'm going to give you my 10 cents. When I give you my 10 cents, I need to take away 2. So I take away 2. Oh, sorry, right? So I have 4. I have 4. 4 on the abacus, 4 cents. If I have 8, I need to give you 10 cents. If I give you 10 cents, that's too much. So I'm going to take away the 10 cents, and your final answer is 12. Make sense? So what we're doing here is we're compounding this concept. So again, we can do this one, right? We could do 7. We can do it even with this one, 7, right? That's 7. 5, 6, 7. And then I only have 10 cents, but it's worth 8. I have enough money, but I only have it in 10 cents. So I'm going to give you my 10 cents, but that's too much. So I need to remove 8. Remove 2. So your final answer is 15. So again, I plus the 10 minus the 2. So what I just did was I gave you instructions how to take away the 8. I'm sorry, instructions how to make an 8, how to add an 8. Okay, Mr. Clean. Have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah? So, are we okay with adding the 10? And then we could do the same thing with minus the 9, minusing. But it's the same concept, right? Over and over again. We do 3. But the thing is you just need to know what the partners are. The partners are 7 and 3. So if I have 9, right, and I want to add the 7, it's the same thing. If I have 9, right, I have 9. What am I going to do? To add the 7, I need to plus the 10. So I need to plus the 10. That's what this is. Plus the 10. And then I take away the 3. So I take away the 3. So my final answer is 16. So I give you my dime. Dime is worth 10 cents. I'm going to give you my dime. That's too much. I got to take away 3. So my final answer is 16. So it's just a different way of thinking. But because we are constricted with the abacus, we find different ways. So we utilize what we have. When we utilize what we have, it becomes very interesting and it becomes a puzzle. So now we can Tetris our way through. How are we doing? Hi, I'm new. Oh, hey. So let's do a little review for a user. A user. So we're going to do a review. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just as I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is 5. This is the top bead. That's 5. So then we have 6, right? We have 6. That's 6. This is 7. This is 7. 8, 8, 9, and then 9. And then 10. 10 is a 1 and a 0. That's what 10 is. So that's about reading the abacus. All right. So I only have 9 more minutes. I gotta head out. I have 9 more minutes. Anybody have any specific questions, or I'm going to continue on with this? Anybody have any specific questions? Coming once, coming twice. Pancho, do you have a question for me? I know Pancho always has questions for me. All right. So we're going to do this one. 17, 18. 18. So we have 18 and then minus the 7. I'm sorry, add the 7. When we add the 7, we know we're going to plus the 10 minus the 3. We're going to plus the 10 minus the 3. Plus the 10 minus the 3. My final answer is... I'm going to... Thank you so much. 397. Thank you so much. You caught me just in time. I was about to leave in 8 minutes. I got to leave in 8 minutes. Do you have any specific questions? Any specific questions that let me answer you now? Pancho, I'm waiting for a question from you. I know you're going to give me a crazy one. So my final answer is 25. That's what I have here. 25. And then what? 6. We can do 6. So we can do 6. We have 19. So we have 19. And then we have to add the 6. When we add the 6, we don't have enough beats to add the 6. What are we going to do? We know that the pair of 6 is 4. So plus the 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 4. So it's plus the 6 is equal plus the 10 minus the 4, minus the 4. My final answer is 25. This is cool. I can't believe you were able to line this out so clearly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Next time, can you show us multiplication and division? Yeah, I was doing that a little bit, and then people got a little bit confused. As you were. I think there will be folks starting to grasp the fundamentals. Not a mind bender ready. I'm looking forward to another live soon. I've been wanting to get into this. Oh, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. I appreciate that. Yeah. And that was the one thing, is to streamline it. One thing was to mainstream it, and then the other thing was to have a format, right? And so in abacus world, we don't make it as entertaining. And if you notice, this is what abacus world does. And I didn't like this. I knew in mainstream math you make it more creative, right? And make it more interactive. And so, as big as they are, this is actually just the right size because a 5-year-old is unable to write small. So, depending on how it is, thank you, Laura. 5 in 3 weeks. Whoa! Owl books, yeah, my owl books. Oh, I'm in the process of doing minus tens. I'm almost done with my minus tens. So, oh, you missed it, Laura. Somebody was asking me how come I didn't put it. Here's a question for you, Laura. What if I put them all the concepts into one big fat book? Would you appreciate that? I don't think so. I think it'd be overwhelming. But yeah. Yeah, she no, right? Yeah. So I broke it up into small chunks. It's much you don't have to do all of it, but at least it's given you the opportunity to do more. But yeah, so that was one of the arguments. What somebody came in is like, why don't you just put all of your books, all of this into one page or one book? And I'm like, then it would be a very big book. Oh, this is yeah. Anyways, and he's like, anyways, I'm gonna stop. Okay, sorry, Henry. What is an abacus? An abacus is a learning tool. Maybe the no, the teachers is not going to do this, right? The teacher would be more condensed, but I don't like reading. I like pictures. So I would probably do smaller pictures. So if you look like here, this is the answers. The answers are manageable, right? And I could give you the answers, right? There's already books like those. It's great. It's bite-sized practice. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? You don't have to do all of them, but I recommend just to solidify it, and I do it in many different ways. There's 4-digit numbers, there's word problems, there's 3-digit numbers. I'm sorry, 3 lines and 4 lines and 2 lines, because it gets overwhelming. This one of my students, they saw 4 lines and they were like, "Oh my god, that's so much," and he's a really smart kid. Yeah, thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura. Okay, so Henry, an abacus is a counting tool. We're going to do some really quick counting. So we have one, two, three, four. Because we have four, then we have five. The topic will always be five. We have five, we have six, we have seven, we have eight, we have nine. After nine, right? And if you look, every column is a place value. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So after nine, we have 10. This is what 10 looks like. Your products are super affordable. I think we'll get them. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I try to be affordable. I try to make it, but still try to. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So the ones on my website though is a digital download, so you can print it out as many times as you want. I'm still trying to build out my digital download, but the digital download is exactly the same as the books that you get from either TikTok or from Amazon. So it is up to you. Some people like the digital download, some people like the physical book. I like the physical book because it keeps everything together, but I'm not very organized when it comes to like my house. But I try to be more organized with the books and my questions. So that's why it takes a little bit of time to go through, because I curate every specific question and I try to make sure I go through and I edit, because it's just me. So I got to go through and I got to make sure that I have all the right questions and nothing gets mixed up. But only until after they finish this, then we can mix it up and it doesn't matter. Right. But the first thing I want to do is lay the groundwork, lay the foundation. Once the foundation is set, right? Once the foundation is set, which means all of this, once the foundation is set, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's where you can find me. It's up to you. You can do a digital download from my website or you can do the book itself. It's up to you. I'm trying to be more accessible for everybody, so but yeah, that's my name. Hi. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for any other questions. So we did how to move the beads. We did some adding. We did some subtraction. We got a little bit of multiplication. But yeah, yeah. The books are on Amazon or the TikTok shop. It's up to you. I was trying to be everywhere all at once. So but yeah, the plan the plan is to make an adult introduction book for adults specifically, right? I haven't finished it yet. It's actually going to be a very big book. It will be it will have everything. It will have adding 5 minus the 5 plus the 10 minus the 10. Um, and then I think I was going to just make it into mazes. Um, I'm almost done. I'm still kind of contemplating about it. I'm not feeling comfortable with making the adult book. Yeah, the adult book would be entertaining. Let me see if I can show you very quickly. Let me see if I can show you what I got, just so you know. It's in the work in progress, work in progress. Um, I'm trying to look for my book. Let's see, adults. Yeah, yeah. Since I've been on this, there's a lot of people that have been really interested in the abacus, and I was like, really, you want an adult book? So my main thing was I thought it was going to be just for kids. Um, okay, yeah. So here is the adult book. Here's a quick peek. And if you look, I have the instructions, right? How to make a file, how to move the beads, what does it look like, and then I have it in columns. And then after the columns, I have like an activity. After the activity, then I talk about like, just how to read the abacus. And then after we read the abacus, we go into um, bigger numbers, right? We have the bigger numbers. And then after the bigger numbers, we go into adding the one. I'm still not sure about this. It was going to be like add the one, add two, add three, add four, all the way to subtracting. This is how I broke up my books. So exactly how I broke up my books is how I was going to make the adult book. So then I have like utilize the five, and then I give you like how to make a five, and then I give you a activity how to add the five, right? This would be great for teens too. Yeah, I think it's fast enough, and it would only go. I'm thinking it would only go up to 10 because I'm already at 76 pages. I was going to add a couple more, and then I was going to start adding in two-step equations here, because then I'd add these two-step equations over here, and then that would be the book. But see, the problem is I need to add questions. I haven't added questions here. I have to add questions. I was thinking about this being boring, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta thank you everybody for joining. I'm an adult. I'm going to start with the children's book. Yeah. Um. It because you're an adult and you're looking into it. I would not get the preschool one. I would start with this one because it's pretty. Yeah. I would start with the +5 if you want to. Okay. But yeah, the preschool one is really just for like number recognition and like the relationships of the number. This was specifically for kids, and so like 3, 4, and 5 when they just started their math journey. That was the point for this specific book. And then I started going on TikTok Live, and now people are like, "I want a book," and I'm like, "Whoa, oh, okay." So I'm in the process of making more books. I do have if you're interested, I do have a bead recognition where it's like a maze, and all it is just a bunch of mazes, and you just have to figure out what the numbers are. And so this is what the maze looks like. And we did this in the beginning. I'm not sure if you were here for that, but we did this in the beginning of the live, and we go through and you look at the number, and then whatever number it is, you go through and you follow the path. And you look at this number and you go through and you follow the path. So that's what this is. Do they come laminated or is it just laminated? This one, this one, I laminate for you if you buy it on my in my shop. But it's only in my shop. I didn't do it on my mainstream on my website yet. This one is specifically for like teaching and stuff, and this is what I use to teach you guys. But yeah, this one specifically um, is laminated, and it comes bounded if you want, or you can have loose papers. I like it bounded. That's just my thought. But I give you the option if you don't want it bounded, or if you want it bounded. Those are the two options. Yeah. Oh, hey, Christopher. So that's the only one in my TikTok shop. I haven't updated my website yet, because I've been kind of going a mile a minute, getting everything done. Because it is just me. My hi, Christopher. My yeah, and so trying to build a business and trying to make trying to make all of the workbooks is it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of time. So I appreciate Laura for your patience on the books and stuff. Okay, if there's any other questions, if there's any other questions, let me know. Else, I am going to have to end this. I do got to get ready for my class. I do have a class at 9:30, and I got to drive. All right. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? If not, I am going to end the live. Thank you everybody for joining, commenting, and complimenting and supporting my abacus journey. So what it was is this is not my thing, right? This is an abacus. There's a world of abacus. When do I go live? I'm going to go live again tonight. Today's Sunday. I'm going to go live again tonight, maybe 8 or 9 Pacific Standard Time, but I'm live all the time. If you just follow me, I'm live all the time. I think tonight it will be maybe 8 or 9. If you follow me, you can get the notification. But I do plan to go tonight. I go, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Thank you, thank you, user 397. Um, yeah. Well, I just lost my train of thought. Follow and you can join. Yeah, join when you can. Yeah, join when you can. Join when you can. And it all depends if we can get into multiplication division. I do plan. I was thinking about creating a boot camp for adults, but I'm not sure if I have enough following for a paid class for right now. Because then I don't have to start over again. You know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking. Have a good class. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Ayusa. That's a thought. A thought would be having a paid boot camp, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Okay, okay. I gotta go. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you so much for the support. I will see you guys all in the next live. Bye. Coral.